the edge of power. The 21st century's invisible world war. The world is at war. Not with tanks rolling across Europe or mushroom clouds rising above cities, though those two remain real possibilities. Instead, this war unfolds in screens, servers, satellites, sea lanes, and the silent decisions of unseen generals and unelected algorithms. We are witnessing the collapse of what historians may one day call the post-Cold War illusion, a brief period where the world believed liberal democracy had triumphed, and globalization would render conflict obsolete. That world is over. What has emerged in its place is something darker, faster, harder to define. A world where conflict never ends, and peace is merely the absence of headlines. Power today no longer flows from territory alone, it flows from systems. Whoever controls the system, the trade routes, the cables, the cloud, the currencies, the data, the belief controls the world, and all major powers know it. The United States, still the world's dominant force, is no longer uncontested. Washington struggles to project the same moral clarity it once wielded. Its domestic political crisis, the hyperpolarization, the erosion of bipartisan foreign policy, and the rise of anti-globalist populism weakens its global posture. Yet its military machine remains formidable. From the B-21 Raider stealth bombers, to naval fleets that circle the Pacific, to the classified capabilities of the Space Force, the U.S. can strike anywhere, anytime. But for how long? Its rivals bet that America's internal fractures will do what no enemy ever could: cause the empire to turn inward. China, the challenger, does not seek open war, at least not yet. Its philosophy is older than the West's. The best victory is won without battle. Instead of firing missiles, Beijing builds dependency. It buys silence with debt, trades access for loyalty, and uses infrastructure as leverage. Its vision is not just regional, it is planetary. The Chinese Communist Party believes the West is tired, corrupted by comfort and outpaced by time. Their belief is that this is China's moment, and they are preparing meticulously not for a quick war, but for a long era of global transition where they inherit, not conquer, the mantle of leadership. Russia, meanwhile, is not building an empire of influence, it is building an empire of chaos. It seeks to reshape the global order not by replacing the U.S., but by ensuring that no single order can exist at all. Through cyber attacks, energy blackmail, frozen conflicts, and psychological manipulation, Moscow ensures the world remains unstable enough for it to matter. From Syria to Ukraine, from Mali to the Balkans, it is not peace that Russia wants, but control over the pause button. Europe, once the philosophical heart of the Western world, now finds itself caught between fear and fatigue. Militarily reliant on the U.S., economically entangled with China, and politically fragmented from within, the continent is vulnerable. Yet something is changing. Germany is rearming for the first time in a century. Finland and Sweden have joined NATO. Eastern Europe is building defense industries at wartime speed. France speaks of strategic autonomy. The EU may be slow, but history has shown that when Europe feels existential threat, it responds not with bluster, but with deep systemic change. The question is, will it come in time? India, the swing state of this century, straddles two worlds. Buys Russian oil, trades with the U.S., builds weapons with Israel, and negotiates with China. It is a democracy with a strongman edge, a tech hub with rural poverty, a rising superpower with ancient wounds. Its decisions in the next decade about alliances, technology, and ideology could tilt the entire global balance. India does not need to choose a side. It may become a side of its own. Africa and South America, often spoken of as bystanders in great power struggles, are anything but. They are the battlegrounds of the future, not because of ideology, but because of resources. Whoever controls cobalt, lithium, uranium, copper, and food security controls the energy and mobility of the 21st century. The new scramble for Africa is not colonial, it's corporate. It's covert and contested by mercenaries, diplomats, and drones alike. Technology is the true warlord of this age. Artificial intelligence is no longer science fiction. It is selecting targets, generating propaganda, automating supply lines, and predicting unrest before it happens. The battlefield is no longer only land, sea, air, and space. It is mind and machine. The ethical debates rage on, but military budgets do not wait. The militarization of code, the automation of violence, and the gamification of perception are not distant threats. They are here now. And then there is space. Not the frontier of hope, but of domination. Satellites determine who sees, who navigates, who connects. Asset weapons are being tested. SpaceX and Starlink are no longer just commercial projects. They are strategic assets. The nation that controls orbit may not need to fire a shot on Earth to win a war. But perhaps the most dangerous development is also the most invisible. The collapse of shared truth. In this age, information is not just weaponized. It is fragmented, personalized, tribalized. The internet, once seen as the great equalizer, is now a battlefield where everyone fights everyone, all the time, for attention, loyalty, and belief. In such a world, democracy becomes fragile, unity becomes rare, and peace becomes a myth. So where does this leave us? In a world where war is ambient, where the real battle is not for land but for relevance, resilience, and reality. The next decade will not be about who has more tanks, but who can adapt faster, who can control energy under pressure, who can protect minds from manipulation, who can innovate under duress, can survive disinformation while maintaining direction. This is not a story of decline. It is a story of reformation, violent, unstable, nonlinear, but inevitable. Empires rise and fall, but this time, it may not be empires. It may be code bases, blockchains, AI networks, and supply corridors that define the next superpower. History has never stopped. We were just looking at the wrong places.